Namaskar, hello and welcome viewers. You're watching Perspective with your host Kruti Mishra. Today we'll take a closer look at the India's strictest anti-copying law which has come into force in Uttarakhand. Governor Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh has approved the Uttarakhand Competitive Examination measures for prevention of unfair means in recruitment ordinance. Under anti-copying law, candidates involved in cheating will be punished and a ban of 10 years will be imposed on them. There is a provision to impose a fine of 10 crore along with life imprisonment or 10 years in jail for the copycat mafia. Apart from this, there's also a provision to attach the property of the copying mafia. This comes after the UKPSC paper leak, which led to cancellation of exam for around 1.4 lakh government job aspirants. And to understand the implications of this law, I'm joined by an illustrious panel of guests. Joining us through virtual platform, Mr. S. Raju, former chairman, Uttarakhand Subordinate Service Selection Commission. In the studio, we have with us Mr. Harshit Mishra, Deputy Advisor, Education Niti Aayog. We also have with us Mr. Sanjay Chadha, Advocate, Supreme Court of India. I welcome all of you to Sansad TV and thank you so much for joining us. And Mr. Raju, let me commence the program with you. This stringent law of the country will come into force in Uttarakhand. Take us through the journey of this law along with key provisions.
Yes, definitely. This today only the ordinance came out. For a long time we were suffering because at present the law is just a simple IPC 420, the famous 420. Cheating is everywhere in that. This is not very strong enough to do that, and we need a special this thing because this mafia they will keep coming again and again. So you will have to sort of have a heavy financial punishment so that they suffer and they stop these activities. But it will go on. But anyway, a law is necessary. In spite of that, I can say only one thing, that while law is definitely necessary, without law we cannot do much about it because the present law is weak. Still, exam, if you do online exams, like the paper pen exam, what they call OMR-based exams, in these exams, things go by, to some extent, faith on the people. Like, for example, the press, where you are printing the paper. Now, printing the paper is, there are about 10-20 people involved in that. Anybody can leak it. So to some extent, it depends on, still it depends on the faith. But this law will help quite a lot in straightening everybody out.
Absolutely, sir. We'll have to see and study the implications of this toughest law that Uttarakhand has actually come out in the form of an ordinance. But Mr. Mishra, I'd like to understand. The police usually say that leaking occurs when the question papers are transported. The other part of the problem is that students have novel ways of faking their identities even. How do we improve policing? What could be the methods?
So actually, first of all, I want to congratulate government of Uttarakhand for this very, very stringent law, which is much awaited. Actually, we have seen in recent past, in a lot of states like particularly Rajasthan, Bihar, Jharkhand, and also in Uttarakhand, various numbers of paper leaks. So first of all, I want to congratulate the government of Uttarakhand for this very, very stringent and one of the most toughest law across the country. And Uttarakhand, now this particular law of Uttarakhand may be termed as one of the best practices across this particular law for anti-copying this thing. As far as your particular question regarding the agency and all things is concerned, so actually the point of action is the implementation.
That's right.
We need to implement in toto. So now there is an ordinance, there is a law, but we need to frame now after the ordinance, the next step for the government is to make the stringent guidelines. Actually,
right.
Guidelines for the law is very important because guidelines are something through which any law can be implemented. Now it is then after the framing of the guidelines and the framework, now the whole scenario will be up to the implementing agency. What you are saying, the police, what you are saying, the other institutions which are managing competitive examinations. So what type of standard operating procedures they will follow. So all will depend upon the further honesty, further transparency regarding the competitive examination in the Uttarakhand will be dependent on the very, very stringent guidelines, very, very stringent SOPs followed by different agency, including the police agency. What they are saying that paper leaks may happen while they will get transported from
That's
one
right.
place to another. So what I can say that proper SOPs are required, how papers are transported, how we can use the modern technology while papers are being transported. These all things are very, very important. And I think state government is thinking on these very lines, and they will come up with very, very stringent guidelines and the SOPs.
Very important point there, sir, that implementation is very important and we'll have to take care of the guidelines and the SOPs. But Mr. Chadha, you're an advocate of the Supreme Court of India and also the fact that you hail from Uttarakhand. Now, Uttarakhand has this law, but we've seen in other states also, there are repeated cases of paper leakage. But the state governments have failed to actually implement tough laws. Education is a part of the concurrent list. Do you think that time is ripe to have a very stern law, a national law?
Kriti, I must begin with, as my friend has done, congratulate my state to be the first state to have such law first. Second, on your question, why a law is made? The purpose of law always is to serve the society. Today, what we were seeing all through, various states, I don't want to name any state here. We have seen the paper leak is there. And unfortunately, despite all the efforts, we were not able to stop it.
That's right.
In such circumstances, this law has come. Now, it was the requirement of the society. It was needed for the better future. It was needed, and that's what is the role of the law. Now,
right.
as our earlier speaker was saying, that this law will at least, such and strict provisions are there. They will, there will be a person who is doing it, if he thinks that there is a life imprisonment, if he thinks that there is a penalty of 10 crore rupees, if he thinks that if he is caught, his entire properties will be attached. That kind of strict provisions have been made. Why? So that there is a fear in the mind of those people who are involved in this kind of activities. So I think it is a welcome step, and it is a beginning, as you said, that national level we should have. But there is a problem here. Why at national level we can't have it right away?
Yes, sir.
Because it is a state subject. Education is a state subject. Now we have to see that other states which are prone to this kind of activities, where we have seen earlier this kind of paper leak was found, they should come up, jump in, and make this kind of laws made in their own state assemblies. They should come up with these laws. They should see that these laws should not only be made, this should be very, very, I just tell you two lines I would like to add here. In last few months, approximately 40 odd people were arrested. But this law cannot be applicable on them.
Retrospectively,
but
yes,
because
on different states, yes.
So in Uttarakhand itself, about 40 people were arrested, and it is not one or two, several such incidents happened. So it was the need of the hour, and I think at the very right time, government of Uttarakhand has taken this step.
Absolutely, sir. But Mr. Mishra, I'll get back to your earlier point again about implementation. Mr. Chadha talked about a stern law that will create deterrence. But again, the point is of implementation. And unless we have a national law, do you think things are going to change? Because one state, of course, could serve as an example, but we need to replicate it in other states as well.
So, I agree with you that as far as the implementation is concerned, we need some centralized thing. But number one, education is in the central list. And number two, this topic is not solely related to the education. The topic is related to the competitive examination of the various departments. So the competitive examination may be of the education department, for example, teacher recruitment, maybe the recruitment of nurses, recruitment of doctor, recruitment of patwari, and so on and so forth.
That's true.
So this topic is related to the state competitive examination, whether it is state public service examination, whether it is state teacher recruitment examination, where it is state driver, bus driver recruitment, means any type of recruitment examination covering all the departments of any particular state or union territory. So we cannot say that the whole topic is related to the education only. The topic is related to the overall gamut of state administration. So actually it is under the very purview of the state government particular, for example, Uttarakhand or any other government. So as far as the various state and UTs of the country is concerned, so they have to make their own anti-copying law, what Uttarakhand did. What I have already said, that now Uttarakhand can be treated as a lighthouse state.
That's right.
So other states and UTs which are facing this type of problem, and I know that a lot of states are facing this type of problem, can be guided by the best practices adopted by the Uttarakhand and can have their own anti-copying law. This is number one. Number two, the Nakal Mafia. The Nakal Mafia operates interstate. They are interstate. They have their own network agencies. Police personnel can talk very detail on this. So to check Nakal Mafia in toto, to check their operation from one state to another state, we may have a interstate law, or government or state government may sit with the government of India to have some kind of arrangement, or we need to sit, or we need to see what type of existing arrangements already there in the laws related to the government of India, in the union law, where this interstate operability of the Nakal Mafia can be hampered, can be defeated in a time-bound manner, in an efficient manner, so that we may have honest, transparent recruitment system, because that is very important.
That's right.
What Honorable PM keep on saying, sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka prayas and sabka vishwas. So for having sabka vishwas, this honesty and transparency across various fulcrum of the society, including how we conduct our competitive examination, is very, very important.
So a very legit point that you made, of course, that this is not only confined to education. It is about police, it is about law and order, which of course is in the state list. But moving on and talking about the broad perspective. Mr. Raju, the education mafia created by this ever-expanding education market is at the root cause of the problem. The spiraling coaching industry has led to commodification, if I may say, of education beyond a certain point. The malpractices are a result of an unprecedented emphasis of parents on marks. How do we change the overall mindset?
See, in my opinion, in India, the recruitments is more a process of elimination rather than selection. I mean, it's not like US or something where you go for interview and then they select the right person. Here we take lakhs and lakhs, like for example, just for one post, there may be about 200, 300 candidates writing for the ratio is very high in terms of.
That's true.
And secondly, adding to what the speakers before me said, that when it comes to implementation and the will, this is the first time our CM has showed a very strong will on that. For the first time when it happened, we have been hearing it for the last 20 years. Sorry, how ho gaya. Everywhere we were saying it. So when I got something really solid, that I was convinced that people have been involved in this. There is a nakal in this in a particular exam. So I consulted the CM and he gave me a full clearance that you have a free hand. You go and file a FIR. And I'm very happy to say that he showed a real determination. Otherwise, 55 people. It has never been done in any state, I can say that. People do keep arresting. Right. But 55 people were arrested in just one exam. And they were thrown off, not just ordinary small fries. They were, and again, same thing happened again in another body called the Public Service Commission, Uttarakhand Police Commission. Here again, nearly 40 people have been arrested. So the CM, at present, the CM is showing a lot of will. And that is very important. As the speakers were correctly saying, the lawyers, both were correctly saying, the spirit of the people behind the law is very important.
That's true.
If they are really serious, then they can do that. And when it comes to marks, as you correctly say, that marks is something which in our country, it is not possible to avoid competitive exams. But one thing we can see is that as the Honorable PM is also saying, he gives a lot of importance to online exams.
Right.
Incidentally, this draft or whatever we sent to the government, which has been because Ordinance, we have included online exams also on that. We are of the opinion that online exams are safer than the offline exams. In offline exam, there will always be leaks because persons are not, physical movement is involved. It can leak anywhere. It's almost like saying that you have got lakhs and lakhs of policemen's murders happen. In exams also happen that there will be always some leakages. But online exam is safer. The only problem in online exam is that there are very few companies who are doing that online exam. Like TCS.
Absolutely, sir. Again, very valid points raised. And as you said, that spirit of the people and political will, both are very important. But Mr. Mishra, as Mr. Raju is saying that online exam, of course, COVID taught us the digital life. Do we have the infrastructure in our country at such a scale?
Yes, we have. As far as, as far as the government of India, as far as Bharat Sarkar, as far as many state governments are concerned, we have, I know about government of India. So in government of India, nowadays, we conduct almost all type of entrance examination through online mode. NTA, National Testing Agency, is the nodal body who is conducting all India, IIT JEE examination, NEET examination, all India B.Ed examination, and various lot of examination only and only exclusively online mode. NTA, the same agency, National Testing Agency, is also conducting, university entrance examination, CUTE. Central University Entrance Test is being conducted by the NTA 100% online mode. So as far as Government of India is concerned, as far as union national agencies are concerned, we have a very stringent framework for conducting online examination. I do agree with the views of my previous speaker that online examination are considered to be the safest one because there is no transportation of the paper, what you were referring to.
That's right.
So they are they are more safe in comparison to the offline examination, number one. And number two, they are more faster. They are more rapid. Online examination are more faster, more rapid, and outcome means the final result of a online examination, we can get in a more faster, in a more rapid manner. So online examination are, are the, I can say, the key to eradicate all these problems related to the Nakal Mafia. And lot of state governments are now conducting online examination. They are very rapidly switching from offline examination to online examination. I know about Uttar Pradesh, I know about Karnataka, I know about Delhi as a state, that various states, including Madhya Pradesh, they all are switching their whole recruitment system from offline to online. So I can say this is one of the solution, but my earlier point is important, whether it is offline or online. Key is the implementation. How you are going to implement is very, very important. What Honorable Prime Minister keep on saying, Sankalp se Siddhi. So this Uttarakhand Ordinance is a type of a Sankalp. Now government has to prove from Sankalp to the final destination, that is the implementation, that is the Siddhi. So key is the implementation, key is the guidelines, and key is the last SOPs, standard operating procedure, whether for offline or online. We need to do 100% accurate implementation.
Absolutely. But Mr. Chadha, you've been seeing the legal system very closely. Is the online mode completely foolproof without loopholes?
Very, very important thing I want to add here. Whenever a crime is being committed, it's a crime. Whenever there is a crime, people say, एक पुरानी कहावत भी है, there is a saying that चोर अपने निशान छोड़ जाता है. And in case of online, 100% a proof will be, if a person is intervening, if a person is doing something, he has to leave a mark. A mark will be there. Okay. So it is very easy if we have got a trained investigator. Then in cases of online frauds, online interference, you can very easily catch the person who is involved in the crime. So that is one answer to your question. And I really appreciate that slowly and gradually, of course, as you very rightly said, that our country has, one benefit of Corona was that we all jumped from,
That's true.
So on that note only, I would like to say that yes, if we move into online, nobody can escape. If there is a system, in that system, you have to do the theft, as we call it, then you have to intervene. You have to enter into that system. The moment you enter, you will leave your footprints. And the moment you leave your footprint, you will be caught. So yes, there is no doubt about it that it is online system is. I feel your question was whether it is foolproof. I would say yes, it is foolproof, and where what we can do is the investigating agencies can very well catch hold of the accused persons, and of course with evidences.
All right, with that affirmative answer, let's take the closing remarks of all our guests. Such recurring leaks erode the credibility of the examination system. Mr. Raju, stifling competitive spirit among the students, among the aspirants, way ahead for checking this menace in our country.
Yeah, definitely it is. It has to be done both for online and offline examinations. And in fact, I would like to add to what the previous speaker said, that exactly that online exam, Mr. Chadha was pointing it out, in online exam, there is an audit trail. Every company does it. Yes. So you will know the most click of the person, where he goes and what he clicks, what he does not click. We have already caught about 9 people using that particular mode. And even the honorable judge was not very happy. He was saying, how can you find out? We showed them how we found out. So online exams are something in which we can easily isolate that. And UP has already done it. In 2 exams, they did it. They identified the people in online exam, and they have given appointment to people who they identified out of so lakhs and lakhs of people who took the exam. So that's the beauty of online exam. The only problem with online exam,
yes, sir.
Yes, it has to be in batches. Like for example,
that's true.
Children have a psychological block that if they agree that if there is only one exam, then everybody is as a marks. But
there's equality, yes, sir.
Normalization comes into. The normalization is a formula which even the statisticians fight with each other. That's the only problem.
Absolutely. So we have to continue debating that. Mr. Mishra, your closing thoughts.
Yeah, so what I can say is we as a system, as a central government, as a union government, we need to protect the rights of hard-working youngsters, hard-working male and female who day and night, who are burning midnight oil and who are preparing for their respective competitive examination. So I think that this is a right step, much awaited step in a very right direction by the government of Uttarakhand. Now they have to prepare very strict guidelines, very strict standard operating procedure for their implementing agency. And what I think that other state government, which a lot of states are facing similar type of problem, they need to follow the suit what Uttarakhand did. And I think as a system, as a constitution, as a governments, we need to protect the rights of the honest, hard-working youngsters of the country, which is very, very important.
Absolutely. Completely second you on that, sir. Mr. Chadha, your closing remarks.
What I feel, this law was the need of hour, one. Second, we have, in this law, we have seen the government has given emphasis on the penalty part. A very harsh penalty is given in case an accused is convicted or punished. Right. So, I really welcome this, and I feel that rest of the states where this menace is going on, they will also follow it. This was the need of the hour. And one more line in between I wanted to add. Even the central government can very well coordinate and help. They can, you know, at Home Ministry, at DG level, they can call a meeting wherein they can guide rest of the states. So central government's role is always important, no doubt.
True.
But congratulations to government of Uttarakhand that they have come up with this kind of law, and rest of the states, I am very sure, are going to follow it.
Absolutely, sir. I'll borrow your quote there that it was the need of the hour. On that note, thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Raju, Mr. Mishra, and Mr. Chadha. Well, viewers, that's all we had for you in this edition. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Sansad TV. Goodbye for now from my side.